Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. Yes, Rhode Island is not part of New York State. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are James Hinsey, Ian Kingston, Maddy Morisseau, and Calvin Watts III. Yay! First time all five of us in the studio. Isn't that awesome?
Yep.
I don't know
cool.
if you say so.
You'll see. It'll be awesome. Okay, let's get right to it. We have the wonderful world of movies with Ian Kingston in a segment we like to call Popcorn Previews. Take it away, Ian.
So, thank you so much for that intro, Mark. First, we have Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So, a villain's maniacal plan for world domination sidetracks 5 teenage superheroes to dream of Hollywood stardom. This is based on the TV show Teen Titans Go.
So it's a cartoon?
Yep, it's a cartoon in the same kind of anime style, done by the same group of animators and directors and voiceovers and everything. So, it's going to be starring Nicolas Cage, Kristen Bell, Tara Strong, and Will Arnett, and it's directed by Aaron Horvath and Peter Ryder Mikhail. I think I said that right. Hopefully I did. Comes out July 27th. Let's take a look at that teaser trailer.
Do you know what makes a real hero? It's not the costumes, the gadgets, the cool powers. It's having your own movie. And that has always been my dream. What are you doing?
Just giving the people what they want.
Our movie's not about Wonder Woman, it's about us, the Teen Titans.
No one wants to see us, fool.
Wonder Woman inspires people.
And we do not.
Yes, Wonder Woman is great, but...
I love Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Narrator guy, just do your thing.
For the creators of Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, the balloon man.
It's about courage.
Titans, go!
It's about action. It's the superhero movie to end all superhero movies. Hopefully.
He farted.
That wasn't a fart. That was just air leaving my butt.
Which is a fart.
Teen Titans Go to the movies. Because if Aquaman can get a movie, anyone can.
So this kind of looks like a little bit of a goofy show. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of that art style and the way that they take the show, but it's actually gotten a pretty big following, so I'm sure that the movie will be, at least to some extent.
You like Teen Titans Go.
I like the original Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
The new one, it's cute, but...
So the original Teen Titans, you mean? As opposed to Teen Titans Go? Because when they made the Go is when they started making them the bigger heads, smaller bodies.
Like
and
really
the comedy. More sarcastic,
the comedy, yeah.
For sure. So hopefully, maybe the movie will bring some new energy back into it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so next on our list here, we've got Upgrade. Set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life. But when Gray, a self-identified technophobe, has his world turned upside down, his only hope for revenge is an experimental computer-chipped implant called STEM. I wonder if that's a shout-out to STEM teaching in school or anything, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's directed by Lee Whannell, and it stars Logan Marshall Green, Roscoe Campbell, Richard Cawthorne, and Michael M. Foster. We're expecting that to come out on June 1st. Let's take a look at that trailer.
As a quadriplegic, it must be frustrating for you, someone who liked to get things done with their hands.
Here's the thing. 4 guys murdered my wife. If I could find those men, I'd do it.
What if I told you I could offer you something that would enable you to walk again? I call it STEM, a computer chip that has the potential to change everything. It's a new, better brain.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
Can anybody else hear you?
No, only you. May I point something out? In the drone surveillance footage, Sir Brantner, Marine Corps, address 414 Citrus, Newground. We'll need a plan.
I got this.
This doesn't seem like a well-thought-out plan. I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Thank you.
Stay down, man. Spam, he's got a knife!
I see that. We have a knife, too. You now have full control again, Gray.
If you are involved in this somehow, then you need to let me know.
Well, I was in the area, Detective.
There's a gun implanted inside his hand.
Stan, what do you think I should do?
Move, Gray.
Man, you are persistent.
I cannot allow us to be killed. We're going to finish the job we started.
You didn't know that I'm a ninja.
While I am state-of-the-art, I am not a ninja.
So this movie's a mixture of like horror and comedy.
Right.
It should be a little bit interesting. I think that this is a movie that I'm gonna have to put on my list, just because it's got like a nice little overtone with regard to some kind of cynical type of aspects with regards to future technology. So it should be fun. You know, they have that whole kind of a feeling from Terminator, but adding in a little bit of a comedic aspect to it. Moving on to our third film, we've got Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. This should be a fun one because I saw the first two, and they're just fun for the whole family, and it's, you know, really diving into that animation meets like all different kind of aspects in monster movies. So the write-up on it is Mavis surprises Dracula with a family voyage on a luxury monster cruise ship so he can take a vacation from providing everybody else's vacation at his hotel. The rest of his pack can't resist going along, but once they leave port, romance arises when Dracula meets the mysterious ship Captain Erica. It's directed by Genndy Tartakovsky, God bless you, and stars Adam Sandler, Kathryn Hahn, Andy Samberg, and Selena Gomez. So the whole cast is coming back for this one. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out on July 13th. Let's take a look at that trailer.
For over a century, the hotel has been his life. But next summer, if anyone needs a vacation, it's Drac.
A cruise?
Ooh. Surprise!
Oh, no, 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 no.
Dad!
Okay, smile.
Check it out, Jack. There's so much to do. Olympic-sized swimming pool.
I got this.
All you can eat, buffet. Full-service spa.
Yeah, so impressive. It's like a hotel on the water.
Who is that?
Okay, Dad, thank you. Oh no, Blobby's gonna puke.
What'd you guys think of the first couple movies?
Another kid.
They're fun, and I've also watched the series that they've had too. So they did this Christmas one that was really cool.
Awesome. All right, so that's all I got this week. We're moving on to a segment we like to call Game Over with Calvin Watts.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
All right, speaking of home video, it seems like that window from theatrical release to home release is getting shorter. and it's just crazy. And I really think eventually you're going to really see like stuff pop up on streaming or pop up on like home video literally like a month or 6 weeks afterwards. So new releases or releases coming out. I missed this the last time because they hadn't announced it yet, but on the 24th of April, meaning that it's out now, is Maze Runner: The Death Cure. So that finishes off the Maze Runner series.
Oh, good. I didn't see it when it came out in the theater.
Well, the movie got delayed by almost like 2 years because the star of the movie got seriously hurt while he was filming. So they had to wait till he was finished. So looking forward to that. On the 15th of May, we're going to have Black Panther. That's literally 3 months after it came into the theaters. And mind you, as of right now, it's the third biggest movie of all time in America. Only Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Avatar has made more money domestically. So, I mean, huge, huge, huge hit.
Didn't it beat out Titanic?
Yes, it just passed Titanic at the box office. On the 22nd, you're going to have the Jurassic Park 25th Anniversary box set. Blu-ray, 4K, that includes all of the previous Jurassic Park movies, including Jurassic World. The new Jurassic Park movie comes out later on this summer. Early reviews say it's going to be fabulous, so if you're a fan of Jurassic Park, now's a good time to pick up all this stuff. On June 5th, this is kind of important, Game of Thrones Season 1. Now, I know you're saying, okay, Games of Thrones have been out for a while. They're just starting. Was it Season 8?
Season 8 coming.
Season 8. However, this is in 4K, so this is going to be one of the first television series available in 4K. Now, I've seen some of Game of Thrones, and I'm sure some of you have. The special effects and the money that they put into this series is incredible. So seeing it in 4K is going to be awesome. Moving on to gaming news, this broke this week, and this is a really big deal now. As you guys noticed from some of the interviews and stuff, we were at CTGamerCon last month. So e-gaming is a thing. It's very popular now. Competitive gaming is everywhere. And so back in 2007, they had this video game documentary called The King of Kong came out. Now there's a website, and they were an actual arcade way back in the day called Twin Galaxies. And they started with the idea of having like records for video gaming. It started out with like arcade stuff, and then it went to home, consoles, and now they do like a whole range of stuff. So this documentary had these two people who were fighting to see who would be the #1 Donkey Kong player in the world. And so Steve Levy was like the good guy, and Billy Mitchell was, like the evil bad boy Donkey Kong gaming guy. And so, for lack of a better term, so Billy Mitchell, if I remember correctly, actually won. However, back earlier this year, one of the website moderators at Twin Galaxy launched an investigation into Billy Mitchell to see if he had actually used the proper equipment in order to get his high scores on Donkey Kong. Now, it specifically says in the Twin Galaxy rules, when you are submitting a high score for an arcade game, you have to be using the actual arcade board that the game is made on. You can't use emulation software. So like MAME or MAME as short has been around for years, and that's emulation software to emulate all of the old school video games from like the 70s and 80s, the actual arcade games that you can now play on your tablets or your computers or your smartphones or pretty much anything nowadays. And so after extensive research into this, they've determined that he was using MAME instead of using an actual arcade board. So they have stripped him of his high score records on Donkey Kong and everything else, and have banned him from competitive gaming and being able to put on, or submit any more high scores. It's a really big deal. He's also listed in the Guinness Book of World Records, I believe, as having some high scores too. So Twin Galaxies has submitted that to Guinness. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I read that they stripped him of those titles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this made all of the main news things this year, and that goes to show you.
No more jumping barrels for you, Bucko.
It goes to show you just how much, along with like Ready Player One, and just how much video gaming has entrenched the mainstream, and how it's not a niche thing anymore. Everybody games almost in one form or another.
There's a song there somewhere.
I'm sure there is.
Everybody.
So God of War comes out this month.
Yes.
April 20th.
What systems?
PlayStation 4. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
Did you get a PS4?
I'm about to.
Oh.
I've always said it would
Yeah.
take something of significance for me to finally get a PlayStation 4. Not that there's anything wrong with the PlayStation platform.
I've seen the commercial.
There
The game
isn't.
looks good.
And this is it. It's being hailed as a masterpiece. I'm
Yep.
looking forward to finally getting a PlayStation 4. And I'm sure Ian will be picking it up, and he can talk about how great it is, because I don't know when I'm going to get it, but it will be soon. So there you go.
Stay tuned.
And you'll finally be able to play like Uncharted 4 and a bunch of the other great games that have come out.
Yes.
Like Knack. Never mind.
You like that game?
I love Knack. Listen.
It's more like a demo game than anything else.
Yeah.
But it was
Hey,
fun.
gaming is cool. Speaking of gaming on the go, Pokemon Go is still going strong, and they've recently introduced a major update to the game where you can do like quests now. You can do like daily quests, and you can earn like stamps that you have and you keep track of, and after like 7 or 8 days, you actually get a chance for like an encounter with like a legendary Pokemon. Oh, and a lot of the legendary Pokemons haven't been seen in months, so that's like really a big deal. And the other part of a quest starts out with like the Kanto stuff, and by the time you get through all of it, and some of it will take time depending on how much you play, but you have the opportunity to finally catch Mew, which has finally been released into the game. So for Pokemon Go players, that's a really big deal. Sega recently had a press conference in Japan, and they have announced that they're going to come out with the Mega Drive Mini, which is the Sega Genesis here. Now they've had like other companies come out with like the Sega Genesis technology stuff, but Sega's doing this version themselves. There haven't been any other details released or whether or not it's actually going to come here. Right now it's just scheduled for Japan, but I would be absolutely shocked if you don't see a Sega Genesis from Sega here. They also announced at this same event, which is really cool, is that updated versions of their classic titles Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 will be coming to next-gen platforms, so PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, later on this year. And with Shenmue 3 actually going through, it was either Kickstarter or one of those gaming things and succeeding. So that's a thing now. That's really, really cool. All right, very quickly, E3 is going to be starting early in June. We'll be keeping an eye on that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool things going on. A lot of announcements will come out, so we're looking forward to that.
Are you going? Wouldn't that be nice? Huh?
Yeah, wouldn't
That'd
be
be
nice?
sweet. Yeah.
I will tell you that I am going, and hopefully some of you will be going with me. Pintastic New England 2018.
Yeah.
June 28th to July 1st, Sturbridge Hotel, pintasticnewengland.com. It's going to be a lot of fun. They expanded to 4 days this year.
Yep.
Really fun thing for the whole family. A lot of stuff going on. Definitely want to check that out.
Now wait a minute. Do they have arcade games too?
They do have some arcade
Do they have
games.
Burger Time?
They might.
I'll be there.
They did last year, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
I like
Burger Time's awesome.
That's one of my favorite games.
Love Burger Time.
Yep.
Great game, especially for Nintendo. But
Yep.
anyways, we do have one last interview from CTGamerCon, and there was this group that came out with you don't see a lot of magazines basically now in print form. Well, this guy who was doing magazines, he's been in the magazine business for about 25 years, decided to do a gaming magazine based on like vintage, consoles, vintage games, and they call it Old School Gamer Magazine. It's really cool. You can get it digitally online, but if you want a print magazine, you can also get that. And so, guy was really interesting to talk to. So here's that interview. Okay, so again, we are here at CTGamerCon 2018. And as you guys well know, I'm an old school gamer. So I was walking to the main lobby at GamerCon, and what did I see? I see a magazine that's old school gaming. So I had to talk to the guy behind it, Ryan Berger. How you doing today?
Oh, doing really good. I mean, this is my first time out in this neck of the woods for this magazine. I have a background in magazine, decided I wanted to launch a magazine just for gamers like us that remember cartridges, remember only having 2 or 3 buttons on a game, remember going out to Chuck E. Cheese and actually playing video games there. So we launched this back in October, and it's gone fantastic. This is 7th or 8th Expo, and I got like 15 more to go. So it's a hard knock life living video games all weekend long.
So since we're definitely talking like old school, how old school are we talking? Are we talking like Pong era, anything up to like the mid-90s?
Yeah, we'll cover in the arcade arena, the Pong, the computer space, in the computer stuff, the Oregon Trail level stuff, the
You have died a dysentery.
yes. Let's see, in cartridge stuff, kind of the Atari era up to about the edge of PS1. So anything about 20 years old or older, so, people like you and me that used to play games and could play a game for 5 minutes and not have to spend 3 hours to get deeply into a game to enjoy it. I mean, we used to play for 5 and we were happy with that.
So you said you've been publishing magazines for like upwards of 25 years. What made you decide to do an old school gaming magazine?
Hobby, and also I can pay, I can now make this kind of a business, which allows me to go and buy cartridges and call it editorial content. So I was starting to hook up with a lot of these people, like Walter Day, like Billy Mitchell, the guys that are popular in the old school gaming arena, and I noticed there hadn't been any magazines that were successful in this arena. So I decided to launch it. I mean, we're on our 3rd issue now, and we're basically giving away the magazine to check it out. If you go to oldschoolgamer.com, click on subscribe and get a free copy of it sent out to you. Or if you're at one of the cons coming up, chances are we'll be there also, handing out magazines.
And you can't beat free. And I've checked it out. There's a lot of cool content in there. And especially if you want to get a vibe and how gaming used to be like. And when you come to events like this, where you can see kind of like how it was again. A lot of you guys growing up, you younger gamers, I can't believe I'm saying this, you're used to strictly playing online, and yeah, you might see like the picture of the person, but it's a little different when you're actually with somebody in person, playing against or playing with each other. There's just a vibe that you can't replicate.
The competitiveness of playing games in that environment, being next to somebody else, beating your high score, and then going back to it is great. And we got to credit Nintendo has helped kick up stuff with their whole Nintendo Mini stuff and the barcade type of scene that I know is popular around here and popular around the country. It's really riding high. So, I mean, yeah, in the end, if you want to subscribe to our magazine, get the free copy, see what you think of it, and then we charge $30 a year to subscribe, but you get the digital version of your email account for totally free.
Okay, and if they have any interest, what is your website they can go to?
oldschoolgamermagazine.com or oldschoolgamer.com. Check it out, see what you think. We'd love to have you take a peek.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. Enjoy the rest of your convention.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, CTGamerCon was really a lot of fun. We had a good time.
You picked up some awesome Magic cards.
Yeah, there were probably 10 different people vending different kind of Magic cards.
Yeah.
And I opened some Masters packs. I got some bulk rares, and I got some other nice cards to help Maddie build out her dinosaur deck and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. It's a great.
No, we all had a good time. A big shout out and thank you to Mitch Halleck for letting us go and cover the event. I'm looking forward to hopefully doing it again next year because it'll be a thing. And certainly last but not least, James York, who we'd had on the show last month and who you've seen before, his new Game Underground store should be opening sometime this month. If you check out Game Underground on Facebook or you go to GameUnderground.com, you'll get more information. I'm hoping to cover that event. If not actually cover the actual opening, we will be going up there and doing a segment very soon. So that is all I have. So we are going on to our next segment, which is Books and Board Games by Maddy Morisseau. Take it away, Maddie.
Thank you. So we have some pretty interesting things going on. If you are a fan of the Magic the Gathering card game, you should be very excited. On April 21st and 22nd, the Dominaria pre-release came out, which looks absolutely fantastic. I'm new to the game, so this is my first real pre-release, so I'm excited for that. That set comes with 6 Dominaria booster packs. It has 1 randomized date-stamped foil legendary card, which is exciting. It has 1 randomized date-stamped premium promo card, and it also comes down with a spin-down life counter, and it comes with a really nice box to store your cards. So that's something that's really exciting. I'm excited to see what they offer and how I can add to my decks for that. In terms of board games, there were 3 games. This month tends to have a theme of re-releasing. So one of the games, I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with the game Chase, the board game Chase.
No.
Have you heard of that one? So
Tell us more, Maddy.
I will.
Okay.
So Chase was released by Tom Krzyzewski, if I pronounced that correctly,
Right.
back in 1985. And it's a wonderful board game that involves 7 dice that add up to 25 on 2 sides. And you move your dice. You choose how to add your dice up to 25. And it involves moving your dice however many spaces are on that number. You can go around people, knock people over. It seems like a really fun time. So they are re-releasing that game, which sounds exciting.
That's a good game to use with kids in school.
Yes, excellent. I was going to bring that up. So I actually, as of this month, since our May show, as of this point, I'll have been graduated with my teaching degree.
That's right. I don't have to pay for college.
Right. Which
Finally.
is exciting. So one thing that I do like about this game is it does involve a lot of mathematical skills. So for younger grades 1 through 3, this would be fantastic because it involves understanding how to add up to different numbers, how to move accordingly, spatial orientation, all of those lovely teacher things that you're probably bored with.
Strategy, all that good stuff.
It's a great gift if you have students in a classroom, young students. Perfect gift for the teacher at the beginning of the year. Wonderful resource. I think it's great. Also on that re-release, has anyone heard of Taj Mahal? It's been about a decade.
Yeah, that's an old
They're
game.
re-releasing that game this year. It's by Reiner Knizia. Again, I apologize for the name. Released by Z-Man Games. This is more of like a bartering, back and forth style game. I think it's bartering combined with Risk, if I'm thinking of that correctly. It seems like a really fun time. Very simple. So if you're into those kind of bartering, back and forth, ruin friends and relationships, you know, kind of game, that is for you. And finally, one last game, another re-release. Who's familiar with Kill Dr. Lucky?
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
I guess he ain't that lucky if you're going to kill him.
So the game originally came out back in 2000, and it was a game where you're in a mansion and your job is to kill the evil doctor. And of course, there's traps and things like that. So they've actually re-released this game in the island of Dr. Lucky. So it's actually a little harder this time. So instead of running through his mansion, you're traveling through an island with all of those different obstacles, alligators, fallen trees, etc., to try and kill the doctor. That's the goal. So they're re-releasing that in August, which is exciting.
So that was a game I actually played back at BossCon probably in like 2001. Not long after it had actually come out. And so one of the concepts of the game is Dr. Lucky can be moved by any of the players playing the game so that they can keep them away from the other players, but you can also try to trip up and kill the other players so that you're the only person left to try to kill Dr. Lucky. And everybody else is trying to put obstacles in your way to try and make you fall to your death, into a pit of spikes, etc. It's pretty interesting. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of re-releases are going on lately, which I think is exciting because there aren't that many re-release games, at least for my age group, so I think it'll be exciting.
So between board games and emulators, all the old stuff is coming back.
And
Nice.
shoulder pads, luckily, have not made that return, but I'm going to hope and pray that those never come
Actually,
back.
didn't we see them starting to come back?
We're not going to talk about it. Anyway, as far as books go, our lovely director, Kat, who you can't see right now, has brought in a couple of books, and she's given me something to read. So, let's see. Local Cambridge, Massachusetts author Cecilia Tan has been an author for over 30 years. Her Magic University series brings us into the world of Veritas, a college set inside of Harvard University, visible only to those who are sighted. So I'm getting a lot of Harry Potter vibes.
Harry Potter, the
from this
Magicians,
one.
Brakebills, Hogwarts type of stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And so
cool.
for the first book, for a little peek inside, in the first book, students are being mysteriously attacked. In the second book, the rings of power are being stolen. In the third, magic users are randomly losing their sight for unknown reasons. The fourth book, the magical users must come together to prevent the disappearance of all magic. So these sound very exciting. If you have kids that maybe aren't interested in like the long Harry Potter books, this is something that could be exciting.
I don't really think they're for kids, though.
Really?
No,
Okay.
they're more, this is Harry Potter for adults.
Ah.
You know, that's the way it's been
Kind of like the
described.
Magicians is for more for adults.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Right.
So those you can find on Amazon, and we'll take a peek at those when we do toys, props, and other stuff later. So that is all that I have for this month. Next, we have a wonderful segment by a wonderful man called Toob News with Marc Morisseau.
Yeah,
Take it
yeah.
away, Dado.
Thank you. You only say that because I'm well related.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Who watches? I watch
I
someone.
do,
I'm
kind of.
I'm way behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm way behind.
Their season 5 finale, which is on May 18th, has an ominous title. It's called The End. And the reason why the producers did that is because they're not sure if the series is coming back for season 6.
Yeah, it hasn't been picked up yet.
Hasn't been picked up. We don't know. The ratings have been okay, but not great. And they put it on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Death slot,
which is tough.
Which is tough too. Once Upon a Time was in there too, and that's already been
But that was
killed
planned.
off.
For Once Upon a Time, it was planned to finish.
Yeah,
Right.
isn't that's been going on for like 7 years?
Yeah, and this last year was a huge time jump in another city and all kinds of different
I
things.
stopped watching that show after season 2. It was like, all right, which Disney princess are we going to get this week? No, thank you. So I kind of gave up on it. But anyway, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Keep an eye out. That may or may not be returning. Okay, you all right? Okay. All right, I got some Netflix news. Jessica Jones gets season 3.
Yes.
All right.
Nice.
Singer-actor Antonique Smith has joined the cast of Luke Cage season 2 as a rival detective from Misty Knight's past. Misty Knight is the detective, and that's cool. She gets a bionic arm in this new season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Could you open that can for me? Sure, no problem. All right, some sci-fi news. Sci-Fi Channel, the new series Krypton, has received a rating of 59% from Rotten Tomatoes. And it's got a 7.2 out of 10 from IMDb. And the show airs Wednesdays at 10 on Sci-Fi Channel. I have mixed views about Krypton. I watched the first 2 episodes. It's epic. It's sort of been described as a Game of Thrones feel to it because you have House of El and the House of Zod and all these other houses going up against each other and so forth.
I'm enjoying it because I love the Superman mythos and
Right.
stuff like that. So, so far, I think it's been going pretty well. Hopefully those numbers will rise as the season progresses.
Yeah, those are really bad reviews for a TV show.
Yeah.
So based on the reviews alone, especially since they tend to be more fan-driven, especially on the Rotten Tomatoes side,
Right.
I'm suspecting that that's probably going to be on its way out unless it has a drastic improvement.
Right, yeah. And Wednesday nights isn't that bad a slot. They put The Expanse on that same night. So maybe that'll carry over because The Expanse has gotten really good ratings.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. All right, Apple TV has announced that it will produce a series based on Isaac Asimov's Foundation series.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. There have been rumors. They've been going back and forth for years about this. At first, it was going to be on HBO and all this other stuff. There have been attempts to bring these books to the big screen. This time, Apple will give it a try. David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman are currently attached to the project. 2 really good producer-directors.
And Goyer's involved with Krypton, too.
Yes.
So.
Yep. So we'll see what happens with Apple TV and Isaac Asimov's series. Confession, I have never read Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. I've read them, and it's... I'd rather if they did Empire or his Galactic Empire series.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
The only Asimov I really got interested in was his Lucky Star.
Yeah,
series.
Lucky Star is great.
Yeah, Lucky Star and Venus and all that
Yeah.
1950s Pulp Fiction type of stuff.
That would be great for Saturday morning.
Yeah, it'd be good. All right, I have Game of Thrones news. Game of Thrones has wrapped its 55-day shoot for its 8th and final season. That's the good news. The bad news, it's not scheduled until 2019.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But Maddie and I watch it on Netflix. We wait till the season runs and then get the DVDs and do it that way. And then finally, there's a series called Absentia, which is on Amazon Prime. It stars Castles Stanicatic as an FBI agent who disappeared without a trace while hunting a serial killer. And now she suddenly appears out of nowhere, so they have to have this mystery of how she disappeared and why and where's the serial killer and all this other stuff.
Cool.
Okay? And IMDb gives it a rating of 7.3 out of 10. So if you like the Castle series, and you like that actress, and you like this spy thriller mystery type shows, that's a good one to check out.
So is that all you have?
Yes, what else do you have in TV news,
I
Calvin?
actually do have a couple of things. I figured I would help you out because
I
there was,
appreciate
well, I
that.
was thinking about it. There were a couple of things that came to mind as you were talking about, and you know, right around the time when we're coming into May, it's renewal season.
It's renewal season.
Yeah.
Well, CW has jumped the gun
Yes.
And pretty
Again.
much now they're going to have Sunday night programming in addition to what they already have.
Oh.
And all of their superhero, and almost everything that they have has been renewed, including like Riverdale. All of the superhero series are coming back.
The only one that's on the fence right now is iZombie.
iZombie.
They're not sure if they're going to bring it back.
Oh, but it just came back on for their season, so they need to.
But one of the best comic books of the past 25 years, in my opinion, has been Brian K. Vaughan's Why the Last Man. This has been in limbo for years. They tried to develop it into a movie. It hasn't happened. They tried to develop it into a television series, and it's been attached to FX for like the longest time. They finally got the green light to do a pilot, so it's finally happening, and hopefully they do the series justice. I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's going to go up against things like Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead and those type of shows. Who knows?
Who knows?
You know, Sunday night has always been, used to be X-Files night and things like that. Now it's
Right.
Walking Dead night.
I'm old enough to remember when Friday night was actually a good night to watch TV because you had all the shows like Brady Bunch and all that whole bunch of stuff that came.
Star Trek.
Star Trek, exactly, on Friday
I wasn't
nights.
there.
Miami Vice at 10 o'clock.
Miami Vice, yep.
Yeah.
Get out the pale suits. Okay, there we go. All right, that's all I have this month for Toob News. Let's move on to a wonderful segment we like to call Anime Daisuki with James Hinsey. Ready? Go, James, go!
So this time for Anime Daisuki, I have some sad news. Isao Takahata, he was one of the co-founders of Ghibli Studios. He passed away April 5th of lung cancer in Japan. He worked for Toei for many years after he graduated college. And anime he worked on for Toei was like Heidi and Anne of Green Gables and several others. And then at Studio Ghibli, he directed Grave of the Fireflies, Pom Poko, and his last film was The Tales of Princess Kaguya, which is an excellent anime film. Grave of the Fireflies, if you haven't seen it, is very moving and emotional. Make sure you have a box of Kleenex
Yep.
for
Or
that
two.
one.
Yeah.
And it's reported that Hayao Miyazaki is still in shock over his death. So, next, on Sword Art Online, they had a season called Gun Gale Online, and they took that and they've now made it a whole separate series, not from the characters' point of views from Sword Art Online, but a new character. Her name is Karen sorry, let me try that again. Karen Kohirumaki. Sorry. It's like too many syllables.
It's a Japanese woman.
Kohirui Maki. Kohirui Maki.
It's a Japanese woman.
Yeah, it's a Japanese name. So anyway,
And I'm sure she's very nice,
Yeah,
too.
she's a young woman who, she actually is very tall in real life in this
tall
show,
Japanese woman.
but
She's tall in real life on the animated show.
I know.
Okay.
But in the Gun Gale Online game, that's a virtual reality game, she's 5 feet tall because she's so self-conscious about height. And this is just something that happens in Japan. They really make people self-conscious about themselves all over the place.
All right, so you're saying in the series, she's
Yeah.
tall, so she deliberately makes her character short in the game.
Yes.
Got it.
Maybe a quick background on the actual stories for those shows would help.
I do. And so in Gun Gale Online, their weapons of choice are guns, and she and a friend decide to enter a game, sort of like a player versus player game. So similar to what happens in the Sword Art Online series, but they kind of changed the name up a little bit. And there may be some encounters with the other characters, I'm not sure, because it just came out, and we'll have to check it out. There's been some photos from the set from Detective Pikachu.
It's pretty bad if you're stumbling over Pikachu, I'm just saying.
Pikachu! Okay, the live-action movie with Ken Watanabe, Bill Nighy, and our illustrious Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. there's photos from London showing people in Pokemon outfits, and also these huge balloons that are like floating up above them. And if you've played the 3DS game of Detective Pikachu, then you might recognize what the balloons are for.
That movie's going to tank so bad.
I don't know.
You underestimate how popular Pokemon is.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon is super huge all over the world. And in fact, Universal Studios in Japan is going to be opening a Pikachu zone, or actually in Florida also. There'll be a Pikachu zone in the kids area. And across the street from Universal, they're opening a Nintendo park, right? So everything Nintendo, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, all that is going to have its own theme park at Universal in Florida, but that won't open until 2023. It will open in Japan in 2020 in time for the Olympics, and then in Hollywood, Universal Studios Hollywood will have it also, and then Orlando. So look for that in the coming months, in the coming years. Netflix has Violet Evergarden, a new anime, 13 episodes, about a young woman in a post-war delivering messages. She becomes like a messenger, post-delivery service kind of thing. Let's see. The director from Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi, he's a New Zealander. He's still working on an anime live-action version of Akira.
Cool.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Right? So he's thinking of not adapting the original Akira manga, the Akira anime film. He doesn't want to touch that. He's going to be adapting the original books,
Yeah, he's going
the
back to
manga
the
books.
source.
Right, the 6 books into 3 films, and it'll be set in New Manhattan instead of New Tokyo.
All right. Hey, as long as we get that red motorcycle, I'm good.
Yeah.
That motorcycle is awesome.
Which made an appearance in Ready Player One.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
A big one.
Yeah. Fooly Cooley. I mentioned Fooly Cooley last month.
You did.
You did.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't here, so do
He
tell.
mentioned Fooly Cooley.
Fooly Cooley.
Now we got to hear it again. Okay.
It was a 6-episode anime, and it was on Toonami, on the Cartoon Network some time ago.
At 3 o'clock.
They're replaying it now in April to May.
Okay.
And then the new season that the Toonami has produced is called Fooly Cooley Alternative, starts June 2nd. So, coming June 2nd on Toonami. Back on April 1st, Toonami actually switched to Japanese language. And I've tried to suggest they use Japanese language on the SAP, the secondary audio channel, but they haven't been able to do that. You usually get the Spanish language on the SAP for a lot of programs. So, on April 1st, April Fool's Day, they switched to Japanese and with subtitles, and they had a movie called Mind Game, which was a really excellent film. I'd never seen it before, and the style is so non-anime-ish in a way. It was just, it changed in styles within the film, and the story was very bizarre.
So it was a non-anime anime film.
Right, produced in Japan, of course, but it was just so stylish, but it was un-anime-ish in style, if I could say that right.
Okay.
So it was actually sort of in a way an experimental film, but it made the rounds at international festivals sometime when it came out. So
She was really tall in real life in
Yeah,
the show,
yeah, I know.
but really short in
Or
the
her
game
character's
in the
short.
show.
We're all over the place this week.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's a good month. All right. And this month of May is pretty busy. So, as of we're shooting today, it's April 14th. Cumberland Library has a Harry Potter Day. So they're having Lauren Fairweather and Draco and the Malfoys playing at Cumberland Library today.
So as you see this, it's already been
I
done.
know, but look for it next year, and other libraries may do it too in Rhode Island. The URI Quidditch team is there today.
You will not be there, though. That is just sad.
I know.
Nope.
And today also in Harry Potter universe, the Quidditch Cup 11 is happening in Round Rock, Texas. There's 80 teams there, so about 84 teams.
By the time they finish playing, it'll already be caught up to May.
Yeah, I know. So next, I'll let you know who won the the U.S. Cup. All right, and that's it for Anime Daisuki.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's move on to a segment we like to call Toys, Props, and Other. Stuff, where our wonderfully talented camera person, Adam Tuckman, points to things in the sci-fi universe, and we speak about them. So whenever you get set up, and we'll go from there.
So what we have here are the physical copies of Old School Gamer Magazine. If you go to oldschoolgamermagazine.com, you can get more information. These are really, really cool. If you're a gamer and you like magazines, check it out.
Now, about what the price range in there? We can't say exactly, but it's close to what? If you want to buy one.
We cannot talk about price ranges.
We cannot talk about
because honestly, I don't remember what they are.
Okay, right.
But if you go to their website, I'm sure you'll find out.
So they're not free?
They are not. I believe the online one might be.
All right. So check it out. It's worth it.
So we have our ubiquitous PEG Award, which they don't do anymore.
They don't
we
do
broke the PEG Awards.
We broke
with
the PEG
ours,
Awards.
yes,
But that
was
still
the
looks
last
really
year.
cool.
Yeah.
And
2012.
there are 2 Pokemon there. They're in the sleeping Pokemon series. I got Snorlax for my wife Leslie back, I believe, at Rhode Island Comic-Con. And I was at Toys R Us, which is closing, which is very, very sad. And the Sleeping Bulbasaur is a Toys R Us exclusive. Although the guy that owns, is it Bratz, is just put in a bid to buy the company. I know they were doing like a crowdfunding thing, but the crowdfunding thing he's saying was just only to get awareness. He has put in an actual bid.
Which company?
Toys R Us.
Okay.
So Toys R Us might be saved after all. Stay tuned.
All right.
All right, so on the left there is Worlds Apart, a Markov Chronicles. This book I received in the mail from a publisher in Huntington, West Virginia, and they sent it to the Sci-Fi Club to read and review. I haven't read it yet, but it's a
book.
Science fiction, fantasy sort of story. So we'll check it out. On the other book on the right is James White's Sector General series. It's an omnibus of the first 3 novels that he had, Star Surgeon and a couple others. Beginning Operations. It's about a doctor in an international or intergalactic space station called Sector General. It's a hospital, and they basically use most first contact with other aliens turns out to be like medical emergency situations, and or trying to help another race with someone who's sick or a disease or illness or something. So there's a whole cast of characters at Sector General that are, it's like ER in space, if you ever watched ER kind of thing. It's very good. Next in the middle is Gridiron Conspiracy by Christopher Paniccia. We interviewed him at Rhode Island Comic-Con, right? And this is the one that Calvin got from him. And the bobblehead is Chewbacca.
With a porg.
That is so cool.
So that's the Last Jedi.
Before he bites its head off. Yeah, he's just holding a porg.
So these are the books that we mentioned earlier that our lovely director brought in by Cecilia Tan. So these are the 5 books in that series. So if you are looking on Amazon, these are the covers to look for.
Okay, so on the next shelf, we have the latest 4K releases. On one end is Justice League, which is the Warner Brothers opus that didn't do so well in the theaters, but it's still a good movie. Next to that is The Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro, recently cleaned up at the Academy Awards, including Best Picture, which is awesome.
We finally got a sci-fi picture that got Best Picture.
Next to that, Star Wars The Last Jedi, really awesome movie. And on the end, Thor Ragnarok. All good movies, all great to own. And on the bottom, if you want to do that.
So at the Connecticut GamerCon, I saw these on one of the vendors' tables. It's the Wii version of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince video game, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 video game for the Wii. So it's like, oh, I couldn't pass that up. I was like, I want to play those.
All right, let's finish up. We have kudos or complaints or shout-outs or anything that we want to talk about. Let's start off with Ian. What you got for us this month?
All right, so unfortunately I didn't bring them with me this month, so I will have to bring them with me next month. But what was really cool was my coworkers actually all pulled together and got me like a really nice carrying case for all of my Magic the Gathering decks and some of the other accessories. And one of my coworkers, Beth, so shout out to her, is she picked me up like a gaming mat and like an Abacus life counter and a case for the gaming mat too. And some of my friends up in Mass, they actually made me a customized playing mat as well.
We'll have to send a picture in.
We'll have to bring it in to show everybody. Let's just say it's rather funny and not, it's subtle but not so subtle, some of the stuff in it. So it was pretty great. Huge fan of Magic. Maddie's getting really into it as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So only good things.
Okay, Maddie, what you got?
I guess I'll give a shout out to my students. So we have just started, like I said earlier, we just started science fiction literature circles, which is exciting. 5th grade is usually when you start the genre of science fiction because it's a little tricky for kids to pick up, especially at that age level. But they are all loving their books. We're doing, we're doing A Wrinkle in Time.
Yep.
We're doing The Giver.
Right.
The Green Book, Gossamer, and The City of Ember.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
So the kids are really enjoying that. So shout out to my class. I won't say who you are because, you know, protection reasons. But shout out to my class if you're watching because some of them do.
Good.
So.
Okay. James, what you got?
I want to shout out to my fraternity over at Epsilon Iota chapter of Psi Upsilon at RPI. Today is the 60th anniversary Founders Day dinner.
Hey, congratulations.
And I got the new shirt that we have. You can get that on the shot, my 2-shot over here.
There we go.
Right, so here's the shirt. It's got an owl on it. We love owls in Psi Upsilon. And it's,
Who? Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, hey brothers, I'm missing the dinner today because we have a 30th anniversary celebration for RISFIC tonight,
That's right.
Ryan
Yep.
Science Fiction Club turned 30 last September, so we're going out tonight.
Sounds good. Calvin.
So kudos and complaints. I have both.
Oh.
So kudos quickly to my cousin Dennis, who called me up out of the Clear Blue a few weeks ago, and he's like, so I got tickets to PAX East 2018. I wasn't able to get tickets with stuff going on, so I was resigned to not going. So he's like, do you want to go? He's like, you don't have to worry about the ticket. Just go up with me and we'll have a good time. And so, which was awesome. So I went up and had a wonderful time at PAX East. That was really great. Kudos to the middle schoolers at Riverside Middle, specifically on my bus, because for various personal reasons, I haven't done any gaming in like 2 months. And all they've been talking about for the past 4 weeks is Fortnite. How great Fortnite is. You've got to try Fortnite. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. So I made it a vow, since this is the start of vacation week, to play Fortnite. So they've given me some tips. So I'm hoping to get at least 1 kill.
All right.
Nice.
So.
Good.
Good.
And a kudo and a complaint to 20th Century Fox. Why? Because a couple of weeks ago, out of the Clear Blue, they decided to come out with new trailers for Alien and Aliens. And the trailers are really, really cool. My complaint is, why? They did it just because they wanted to do it, which I guess is okay. But I have long wished for Aliens. I was not an adult yet when it came out, so that is my favorite movie of all time. I've never seen it in the theaters. There's been a long-standing push to have that re-released, put into the theaters, and so this is like a tease of nothing. There's nothing announced. There's no special duper Blu-ray 4K. No, nothing. They just did it to do it. Which is astounding. So hopefully there is something coming up, but as of right now,
it probably looks really good though.
Oh no, it looks great. You go on YouTube and check them out. The trailers. I mean, it's much more in line with how people perceive today's trailers.
Okay.
If you go back to the original stuff, they don't really give a lot of stuff away. This is a little more, but it's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and let's see. My little shout out. I want to recognize the passing of Mr. Art Bell, who passed away at age 72.
I did not know that.
Yep,
oh,
he was
man.
the radio guy from, was it
Coast to Coast AM.
Late night radio. If you're a die-hard conspiracy theorist kind of person, that was the show that you had to listen to.
He got me through many a nights when I was driving cross country back in the mid to late 90s.
Yep, it was a
because he
syndicated
was
program.
Everywhere. Cause, for those of you who don't know or listen to radio really quick, at night you have a lot of the interference kind of like goes away. So you can have AM stations that can transmit, and you can receive, especially out west, very long distances. There's a station, WWL in New Orleans, that you can get at night to almost every part of the country, which is astounding. And Art Bell was one of the pioneers of talk show hosting.
I think one of the reasons why X-Files was created was because of Art Bell.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So rest in peace, Art Bell, for all your contributions to the sci-fi community. All right, if you want to get in touch with us, our email is risfic.communications@gmail.com. Our website is www.risfc.org. Please check out the website, find out when there's a new Rhode Island Science Fiction Club meeting. We'd love for you to join us if you live in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. We have Twitter feeds at Sci-Fi Journal, and we have a Facebook page as well you can check out. Okay?
Yep.
All right, that's going to be it for this May 2018 edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching. And next time we'll have coverage from
Free Comic Book Day. Going to have some surprises for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
All right, thanks for watching. Bye.
Take care.